Ladies and gentlemen, people of the internet, once again, karibu sana. I thought of talking about something I've witnessed this afternoon. It's a beautiful Monday afternoon, and I'll go straight to the point. You have you ever find these people, mostly ladies, maybe they're your spouses or your sisters or even your moms, when you text them and they don't reply? I'll go directly to our spouses. If you text your spouse and they don't reply, how do you usually feel? And also men, ladies, when a big text and the man does not reply, how do you feel? Let me filter in. I'll talk about those people who are still dating. Those people who are dating, and you text an individual and they don't reply. Basically, what it means is that you're like a second option. More so if these people are, you text them online or via the normal texting avenues that we have. To some extent or to some degree, I usually believe you're not an option. Let's leave alone the texting, the calling. Have you ever seen these people where you call them and they don't reply your calls? Okay, let's assume the nature of the working environment or the business they're doing, they're usually very busy, so they don't reply or they don't attend to calls immediately. But to some extent, don't you just feel that you should call back and get to know what this individual really wanted to do? Do you know it's part of communication, and in communication they say it ruins a lot of relationships? Because you text someone, they don't reply. You call someone, they don't answer your phone call, and they don't even get back to know. I have a certain uncle, if he calls you and you don't reply, this is what he'll do. He'll call you back, then he'll ask you, Yani, I could have been held at a gunpoint with some thieves or something, and you never picked my call. So right now I could have been dead. There's a day even another friend of mine once mentioned that if in his entire friend zone, the people are in his phone book, and then he's asked that if you call that, we have given you an option, these thieves or robbers or gangster, whatever you want to call them, have held a gun in his head, and they tell him that call someone. If they pick, we kill you. If they don't pick, we don't kill you. Do you know that friend of mine said he'll call the wife? There's no day the wife will ever pick the phone. I tried it. That I don't know. And she'll call you later on with all manner of excuses. Oh, it was in the back. Oh, she had left to go to the washroom in the office. She was attending to a client. The list is usually endless. Then you have those kind of people who even texting, you'll find that you see them, they're online. To some extent, you'll find if the phones are right on their hands. But what happens? They never answer your phone call, or they never even text back. There's another uncle of mine, I used to see him. Whenever you could call him, he could never answer his phone. Then there's another day I was at his house. So we did a test with this cousin of mine. So this cousin of mine decided, you know what, let me call uncle. So I told her, you call uncle, then I'll see. I just saw what the uncle did. He picked up the phone, looked at it, and turned it down again. Imagine, and he was being called. How do you feel when such people, why do such people exist in this world? It really affects me. Because ladies, you'll find a lady, she's posting, she's doing everything. Okay, nowadays they use this excuse. They say that they tend to say that they've connected their phones, the WhatsApp and these social media sites to their laptops. But when you come back, why don't you get back to this particular individual? It is so hurting that someone texts you and you don't text them back. How do you guys feel? Maybe someone is an emergency. Furthermore, before I forget, you see those individuals who borrow you money via text, I don't reply to those texts. I'll blue tick you. If you need some assistance and it is very urgent, just call. And again, don't make 50 phone calls. Mimi sina kidney yako. Ningekuwa na kidney yako ungenipigia. Two phone calls is okay if I miss them. You can drop a text or a WhatsApp message for that matter. For those who are in Telegram, you can also drop a message. I think I'll follow it up. Then after 1 hour, you can again call back. That is what we call personal etiquette, so that you can get to know. Most of my friends, mostly the female ones, you can text them and they don't text you back. Then after the message has expired, maybe 2 days later, by the way, I saw your call. What do you mean you saw my call? If I was being shot somewhere and I needed your help, I could have already died and buried. So to some extent, what I'll request people, tafadhali, let's have some what you call some phone etiquette. Let's have some etiquette where you can call someone back, reply to them, and the first thing you should say, just apologize. communication is being broken because of people who are not communicating well. Communication, it goes across the board. It can be either through messaging, through calling, or through just answering a question that you've been asked. Why have I said that when she texts you and when you text and she doesn't reply back? Because women are the weakest point in this communication era. They're always doing something, always constantly doing something. So I tend to ask myself, what is this that you're busy that you're doing that you cannot even respond? Or you call someone and then they hang up. Then you call them again, they hang up. When you call someone and they hang up, that means they're busy. They've seen your call. The best you can do is drop them a message. These people, when you meet them, but they saw your call. Come on. In fact, when some people call you and it's not a frequent thing they usually do by calling you. When they call you back, I think you should respond very urgently, because this is not a regular call. Then you have this group of people. They're constantly the cells are always ever not in service, either they're mteja or not, but them they'll call you back. Then you ask them, here in Nairobi they call it at tunasemanga ameka dunga. I don't know about you people. Kuna kitu tunasemanga huyu ameka dunga. People of the internet, ladies and gentlemen, drop your messages there in your comment section. Tell me, what do you think about this particular individual? Because to some extent, it really pisses off when you're trying to communicate to these particular individuals, but none of them is responding. What's the best advice do you think we can deal with these people? Because I don't understand. It pains me a lot when you're trying to communicate and mtu ashiki simu. What are the texting part? Okay, I apologize for people. I'm not good at texting. I'm not good at WhatsApp. But again, wale ambayo you know I'm talking to you, you know those people where you call them and they don't respond, then they'll respond later on. Ladies, if you're affected, yeah, I try to call you and you're not picking up my calls. I try to text you and not replying. What does that show you? I'm just an option. In fact, there's a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. He's called Francis. He once told me that people pick phone calls according to the respect they give you and according to what you're bringing on the table. For example, if you're a very famous, wealthy person somewhere and you call someone, these people can even call you 10 times just to apologize for the missed call, and maybe you misdialed their number. But if you're just another relative, irrelevant person over there, they'll not respond to you, and the vice versa. This high and mighty, where you get to meet some of your uncles, these wealthy uncles, you meet them on the road, and then you take their phone numbers. Then when you have an emergency, you call them, they never pick up. They never. Then later on, they'll be like, but then someday you were calling me. I have one habit. If I don't call you within a month and I have your phone number in my phone book, I delete it, because I know we no longer communicate. If I call you and you don't respond, and then I drop a message, you don't respond. I drop a WhatsApp and the normal message, you don't respond. And then you don't respond even after a day or two, you're out of my phone book. It means we've got no business whatsoever conducting together. It is as simple as A, B, C, D. Get to make sure that communication is key in everything. In relationships, at our workplaces, and even at our business enterprises. Because remember again, who are we who cannot pass simple communication strategies and skills? Yeah, another friend of mine was telling me the other day that they just had a small disagreement with the wife because of communication. And you know what? He had sent the wife some message that he's coming home late, but apparently he never had some units or credit for that matter. So your message will hang. The message just got stuck somewhere. So the wife is busy, they're trying to call him, and this individual is in some go down where there was poor network. And his phone went off. So when he's coming back home, he was coming back late. The wife had frowned and wanted to blow up. So when he started to explain, the wife told him, I can check on my phone, I'm not seeing any message. Only for him to check and found the message, it came hang. That's why I insist call, text, and sometimes drop a WhatsApp message. I've got those kinds of colleagues who send a message to their bosses that they're not coming tomorrow. Why don't you call? That's the question I ask. What if the boss decides to say that I didn't see the message? If you guys, maybe you're usually dropping message and not an email. If it's very urgent, again I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, people of the internet, call. So at least you'll have some receipts and some evidence. I called you, you never picked up. This is the calling. Okay, I dropped a message, normal message, we never responded to it. Also went ahead and dropped a text message, that's on WhatsApp or whichever mode you chose. At least have some three kinds of mode of communication. At least this individual will not deny you never talk to them. If you're sending your girlfriend a message and they don't reply, send another one after 10 minutes. If they don't reply, call them, tell them, have you seen my message? If they don't pick, my friend, wachana na huyo, hiyo imeenda. Thank you very much.